Immer noch im Gespräch mit wahren Rocklegenden. Nazareth sind heute Abend zu Gast. Pete ist hier und Carl, selbstverständlich. Going back to Pete, when you started Nazareth way back in 1968, how long did you think you'd be in a band, actually? I mean, it's been 47 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody ever really thought at that time that we'd all be doing it in maybe by 1990 even, or 1985 even, but to think in 2015, no way did anybody from that time think they'd still be playing. And now, it's just amazing. People, there's old rockers have had careers longer than Frank Sinatra now, It's quite frightening.
Do you actually think that age has something to do with the fact that you're still out there performing and recording albums? Does it make you wanting it more nowadays, actually, being on tour?
I don't know. It's it's a way of life, really. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
And I think it was because it was the rock thing has developed all through the years. It's still stayed. Mm-hmm. There's nothing really changed that much since the 70s. So what we're doing now seems just as relevant now as it was then. It's quite it's quite strange. I think when in the in the 50s, you expected pop stars to have a couple of years and disappear or something like that, but the things that came out in the 70s was quite unbelievable. It's lasted a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you still see our pals Deep Purple running around and stuff like that,
Absolutely. The tour is called Changing Times, as I mentioned before, but you could also call it, if you like, back to the future. I mean, how do you see the future of Nazareth? It is the second new start for the band, actually, isn't it not?
It has been quite amazing, like this year. We thought it was all going to be pretty much downhill, after we'd lost the original singer.
Yeah, with Dan.
And we thought, can we keep going? Would it be possible? But not only just kept going, and since this man joined us, all the shows we've been getting these rave reviews on every show, and it's best reviews we've had in about 20 years, so it's really encouraged us, We're not going to go away now.
No, you won't. You won't. You're still on tour, absolutely. But when you think back to the 60s, the early days, if you like, of Nazareth, who were some of the bands you shared the stage with back then when you started?
Everybody, because we were a band before we were called Nazareth. It was the same guys, but it was a band called the Shadettes, and we played in a local ballroom in Scotland. So they used to have guest artists come up. It was a Sunday night they used to come up. So we played, I remember we used to play before and after the guest artists. So I played before and after The Who.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
When they performed Tommy for one of the first times up there, we had to play before and after they played it. That was always hard, going on after these people, But Deep Purple, Zeppelin, you name it, just about every band. The only band I don't think that played in there was the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
But everybody else you could think of, we played with, in that ballroom. So we had quite a baptism of fire when it came to like going on stage with, up against big competition.
Yeah. You just mentioned the Shadettes, because actually you started out as a cover band, right? And then one of the most, well, actually, I think probably one of the best rock ballads of all time. Then Love Hurts. That was a huge hit. I think number 8 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts back in 1976, which was a cover, by the way. Yep. But what's the secret of a successful cover song?
I think you've got to make the song your own. You've got to make it completely different, or put a big stamp on it from the original. You don't want to make. Everybody can make a copy of another one. We've covered a couple of songs by other bands that we thought were really great, but we ended up listening to it. Well, it just sounds like them, so there's no point. So if you take a song that's and that you wouldn't be expected to cover as well, and Love Hurts, a hard rock band wouldn't be expected to cover a thing like that.
Yeah.
So we made a good version of it, as we did with the Joni Mitchell song. We did with This Flight Tonight. It was an acoustic little soft thing. We turned it into a big thundery, heavy thing. So I think it's a case of making sure that you make the song sound as if you wrote it.
Yeah. And that's actually what you did, but Love Hurts, I think there's so many different versions out there, more than 40 versions. But what was for you, the inspiration to record that song? Was it the version by the Everly Brothers or the Roy Orbison version? There's so many different versions.
The one that we liked the best was the one that we used to listen to a lot was Graham Parsons and Emmylou Harris, and we just liked that. We used to play it in our van when we were driving around, going to shows, going to gigs and on tour. And with those, it was a song we just liked, and every song that we've actually covered, it's always some that we used to listen to in the old days, or some that we played in the Chadettes. We go back and say, remember we played that? Why don't we cover that? And and that's how we've been very lucky with cover songs, for hits.
Absolutely. And of course, I have to show the audience Love Hurts. First of all, I'm going to show the 2015 version, actually with you on the vocals. Sollen wir uns natürlich den großen Hit nochmal anhören, Love Hurts. Der wird mit Sicherheit natürlich auch dabei sein bei der aktuellen Tour. Aber erstmal ganz aktuell nochmal die Bilder aus diesem Jahr mit Carl als Lead Vocalist. Und danach werden wir uns nochmal das Originalvideo aus den 70er Jahren anschauen. Hier sind sie nochmal, Nazareth, selbstverständlich mit Love Hurts.